Hey, what's going on, good people? It's your boy James Harris, of course, Mental Hill. Listen, I appreciate all the support over the years, whether it was for my book, man, Just Express Yourself, which is an interactive planning guide for boys and men to better express themselves. So salute to those parents who got it for their young sons. Praises to those partners and couples who got it for the men in their life. Of course, to the schools, the administrative, and everybody else who ordering the book by the dozens. I definitely appreciate that. And also salute to everybody who supported me on Cheesy Date Board Games, which is a good game for adults and couples, your game night, your date night. So many interactive ideas come from it. I definitely love the responses that it's garnering. But now I'm asking for your support again on this YouTube journey. I'm back. I took a little break because I had so much going on, but be a little bit more consistent with it. I got a couple of interviews lined up with prominent people and people doing phenomenal things within the community or within this mental health space or even different authors and things like that. So bear with me. Appreciate your support. So make sure you like, share, and subscribe. And the guest that I got coming up now is.
Absolutely. So my name is Marcy Thornhill, and I am a serial entrepreneur. But most importantly, I work in information technology. I've been doing so for 30 years. I worked in the areas of national information security with the Federal Reserve, supporting the United States Treasury, General Motors, and currently the Commonwealth of Virginia. I serve as an account manager. But also, I am the cybersecurity and social media consultant for NBC 12, and I've been doing that for 10 years as well.
Got you. So before we get into the cybersecurity side of things, you said
Uh-huh.
serial entrepreneur. So I
Yes.
definitely do want to pay respects to everything you got going on, especially with the jams and all that, as well as the knitting and stuff that you do. So go ahead and shout that stuff out so people can be in tune to that as well.
Appreciate it. Yes. So first and foremost, my heart is College and Career for Youth, or also called KaKY. It is a nonprofit 501(c)(3) I've had for 20 years now, where we service young people that are underserved, that are reentering from juvenile justice, homeless, just any aspect of young people. And now we've expanded that to our Community of Hope program, where we work with veterans in respect and paying homage to my father, who was a Vietnam veteran, Mark Waters. And so we support veterans through providing food, clothing, toiletries, and even workforce development. In addition to that, I also have Mrs. Marcy's Homemades, and that is my homemade applesauce and cider manufacturing center located in Richmond, Virginia. We've been doing that for 5 years where we make homemade applesauce and ciders, but also we have natural teas and herbs because we're looking at healing the whole person. And finally, we have our crochet, Cozy Me Crochet Designs, where we create couture crochet pleat pieces, all custom made by hand by me. So that's the bubble. That's the ecosystem, so to speak. So
Yeah. I just wanted to make sure that you get all that information out there so people know that you multifaceted inside, in addition to the cybersecurity stuff in which we're going to talk about, because there's a lot going on from TikTok bans to just the algorithms to a lot of students or just teenagers growing along in the social media era. I want to ensure not only are they protected, but of course the parents and or administrative people know what to do in case those little ones do fall victim to somebody scamming them or preying on them in so many different areas. So if you could just tell us what is cybersecurity.
absolutely. So cybersecurity, first and foremost, is not just about computers. Most people think it's the system, and it's not. It's more about protecting people and data from digital threats. So, in simple terms, it's helping to keep our lives safe from being exploited through technology, whether it's your phone, your any devices, gaming systems, anything like that. So, it's the practice of protecting people.
Okay, so for the parents out there, what can they do or what should they know about cyber awareness? Because I know now some of the apps are parent friendly to where they can set and control what the young person is monitoring and things like that. But what additional stuff or insight that parents need to know about cyber awareness?
So First of, first of all, the internet is social. Internet is not just about code and the technology and the bytes and the bits. It's more about the people. And the threats don't come from the code. They don't come from the technology. They come from the people that are using the technology. And children are typically targeted not because they did something wrong, because they're trusting, because of the age of the young person, the mindset of the young person. They're not fully developed to a place where they can make those intuitive decisions or be able to identify. If you think about some people, and I always think about AI, sometimes it is lacking emotions, is lacking being able to understand sarcasm and someone being condescending because it's not fully developed. Children are the same way. So typically, predators prey on them because they're trusting. And for parents in particular, they have to make sure that they're equipping their children. So if you think about when we grew up, stranger danger, you knew how to identify a stranger on the street. You knew not to let them into your home. You knew not to speak to them, talk to strangers, get close to strangers. It's the same thing with your digital environment. When you start talking to them online, you're letting them in. When you open up your portals to have discussions and share intimate information, even with children, what school they go to, maybe what grade they're in. They're letting them in. And it's like letting a stranger into your home. I like to use the example where, and I can't think of the phone system now, but it was just like they had all the followers, and you're on the street, but then you have like these million people following you because we want followers. Imagine if all those followers came into your home. You don't know them. They're strangers. But for our children, they become friends, not because they have a relationship, but because it makes their numbers go up. That's my friend. What makes them a friend? So that's the first thing parents need to be educating their children on is defining what is a friend in the digital space. What does that look like? How do you define it? That's the first thing.
Yeah, I got you. So for the students out there who are listening or the children that's, constantly browsing and things like that, what can they do to be safe online? Because of course it's these backdoor chat rooms, it's those hackers that infiltrate roadblocks and so many of those kid-friendly things. But like what are some signs that the children can do to recognize that I might need to go and tell my parent that this popped up or something? What are those things, aspects?
What for children to do is not to overshare. And unfortunately, predators are really good at asking those questions and not in a direct way. They may say, "Oh, yeah, I heard football games were good this year. So how'd your team do?" Oh, they did well. Really, who they beat? And then they're going to figure out who they beat so they can figure out what team they play for. So predators like to manipulate children. And so they don't understand it. They don't see it. So the first thing to teach our children is not to overshare. You should not be sharing where you live, what school you go to, what sports that you play, your name, of course, your address, the basic information. But predators also, they keep track. They start to keep a scorecard. I may not get it all today. I may see your school colors in your school shirt, got one. I have a picture, got another one. And they start to build up a profile of your child. And it is very scary. And I know it sounds scary, but that's what they do. And they're patient. Predators sit back and wait, and they'll wait and wait until they get enough information to now do whatever they intended to do from the beginning. So the first is not to overshare. The second thing is not to have conversations with people that are not your friends. Gaming systems is a pool of children and predators. And of course, they use different avatars and they talk like children, they sound like children, they're my friend. But it's important for parents to manage that. How? One is making sure that your child is only playing the game with people that you permit. So you can have rules in place that will block them, security settings that will block them from friending someone else. So you want to make sure you know exactly who your child is playing with. You know what school they go to, who their parents are like. You want to do the work, just like if you're having a sleepover. You're gonna know what does their mama do for a living? What does their dad do for a living? Where do they live at? What school do they go to? Where do parents work? Parents do the research. You have to do the same thing with the game and more. So that's the first thing, is teaching them not to share information, not to have a lot of conversations. And this is the trick: when they're playing on the game, in particular, I focus on the game right now, not to move the game, not to move the conversation from the game to now your cell phone. Oh, let me call you and talk to you while we're playing. No, because now you've invited them in a personal space. So children should never, ever, ever share their cell phone number or address with anyone on a gaming system.
Okay, yeah, appreciate that. So while we were talking about the children aspect of it, I know it's been in the news also about how people prey on the elders who are, freshly new to online settings, or not knowing if this is somebody I should give my information. I think it was a commercial I seen a couple weeks ago, middle of the morning. It was somebody was calling about a house something. So the lady thought, she was an elder, so she ain't know no better. So she typed in her information about her house. Next thing you know, they had the deed, they own the house, and she had to fight to get it back. So any information or tips that you can give to the elders as well?
Absolutely. So for those that, I'm going to speak from those that don't have a support system. So if you're an elderly person and maybe you don't have children or siblings or other people that you can talk to, what do you do to protect yourself? Number one, Dominion Power. Some of these companies will never call you and say you owe us money. They will send you a bill. The minute that you get a phone call, and if it's a sense of urgency, you need to pay it now, or else we're going to cut off your lights, or else we're going to repossess your car if you don't pay it now. Anything that promotes urgency and anxiety, you want to pause. Don't respond. Don't give a credit card. Don't give your address or email. Say, let me call you back. You hang up the phone. And then you go back and you look up the correct number for Dominion Power or Comcast or whoever the bill collectors. You call them back. This just happened to my mother 2 weeks ago. Literally, someone called her while I was on my way to the news station and said that you owe us money on a doctor bill and you need to pay it now, or else we're going to take you to collection and you're going to go to court. Because I taught my mother, she hung up the phone. She called me. I said, no, you called the hospital. She called the hospital. I said, you don't owe us any money. You don't owe anything. Like, we don't have that collection company calling you. It's a scam. So
Gotcha.
they like to prey on the elderly's emotions. They'll also use what you call vishing. Vishing is voice phishing. That means they change their voice to sound like a grandchild. Oh my God, Grandma, I need help. I need you to send me money. That's what they do. Grandparents, they jump because their senses, they're really sensitive. They hear this childlike voice, sounds like their grandchild. I'm going to send you money to help you. Pause again. You hang up. You call the child back. You call their parent back. Hey, my granddaughter so and so just called me and said she's in trouble. Is she okay? That's when you find out if it's legitimate. So I always tell my elderly people, never be quick to respond. Stop. Pause for a minute. Call them back using a different number. And that's how you protect yourself. And of course, we know social media is the same way. They're not your friend. If they're not a family member and they say, I need money, you never, ever, ever give them a credit card or access to your bank accounts.
Got you. So in addition to the children as well as our elderly, who else do hackers prey on?
College students. So our college students really are at risk from the perspective of they're eager for employment. They're eager for college scholarships. They're eager to get the cool job while I'm in school because I'm a starving student. And so if I have an opportunity to be a model on the side and make $500 a week, and if I get the call to come to casting call, I'm going to show up. And now I've shown up. The risk now is you put your physical body in danger because you showed up to a place that was not legitimate. And then that increases opportunity for now trafficking. So we've gone from online prey to physical prey. And that's what they do. They entice you through technology to get you out of your comfort zone of the campus or your home He gets you somewhere isolated so they can prey on you. So college students, again, if it sounds too good to be true, it is. If you know you don't have the skill set to be a manager of an organization because you're a freshman and you never worked anywhere other than McDonald's, and now they want you to be a manager, it is probably not legitimate. Really think about it. Does it make sense to you? Trust your instincts and be careful because they are preying on college students in particular.
I got you. Appreciate that information. I just wanted to make sure we're covering all the bases, because that is true. You know, it's so many different viruses that people can send to you. You click it, you download it, and especially for people who are in that urgent sense of seeking employment and or financial aid or scholarships or just opportunities. So that is a good point on that. So we're in this age of technology. It's going to continue to evolve. It's going to continue to uh, change lives, you know. So what other issues are forthcoming as technology continue to evolve?
Ah, we love AI. AI is here. We cannot avoid it. We cannot say, I don't want to get online and interact with it. You use AI every day when you use your GPS system, when you are using Alexa, when you set the timer sometimes on some of your devices, they are AI driven. So, what do you do? First and foremost, familiarize yourself with some of the technology. It can be scary, it can be overwhelming. There's a lot of free online classes and things like that where you could just listen, YouTube, LinkedIn, things like that, just to familiarize yourself with the language. Also, I encourage people to not use AI as a means to solving their problem because AI does have biases. AI is driven off of knowledge. And so if it doesn't fully understand who you are, your personality, it's going to assume certain things. So you have to understand that AI is not 100% correct all the time. Just because it's a computer generating data, the data is fed to it as well. It learns from you and it continues to learn and grow. And so you want to make sure that you understand what you're doing. Don't depend on it to think for you. That's the biggest thing. Everyone's using Chat GPT and Gemini and Canva and all these different AI tools to write and think for them. But you need to make sure that you're engaged from a perspective that I know what I want this to look like. I know how I want it to sound. I know who I am as the author. And you have to own that. Please don't depend on it to write for you because it can misrepresent who you are. And you have to read everything. Don't assume it spit it out correctly. It spell check, grammar check, language check. It may be writing in, old English. And you're, American. Like, so make sure that you're checking. And again, the biggest issue is not the technology, it's lack of digital literacy. We have to make sure that we're educating ourselves on what's trending. You don't have to know all the answers, but you need to at least have some questions.
I got you. So, being that AI is here and is going to continue to evolve, whether we like it or not, what are some positives about, I guess, AI in a sense? Because it is beneficial for those who don't abuse it, you know, like writing full papers or doing your work in spreadsheets. Nah, like you still need some type of competency to be able to do your own work. But what are some other benefits to having an AI embedded in your systems?
It's great for example, for a parent, for education. You can use it to help develop specific content to help your child. Maybe you have a child with a learning disability. You can express to AI the learning disability your child has, what you needed to do, how you want your child to feel, and it can develop things like that. It can also help with healthcare. Believe it or not, it helps to speed up the research that doctors use when they may be diagnosing you. They have access to it. Yes, they're knowledgeable and they went to school 25 years ago. But fast forward to today, they need to stay relevant. So AI can help with increasing relevancy to your field. It's also good to help with fraud detection because we use it. AI is a tool that's also used for fraud detection and it helps protect your system. So it's not just about writing and creating cool graphics and videos, but it also has a very strong back end to help in technology, to help in healthcare, transportation. It can map out a flaw in a bridge that may have a crack that the human eye may see, but if you have the right device and you scan the bridge, it can hone in on a potential flaw that can prevent disaster. So AI is a very powerful tool. You just have to know how to best utilize it to meet the goals of everyone, and that's to be healthy and safe. And so it's a lot of ways to use it in a positive way. We see it all the time.
Yeah, I seen a video clip. It was in China or either Japan on how they're using AI in comparison to how America is using it. You know, America, they show people using ChatGPT, putting in a couple words and getting phrases or paragraphs and stuff like that. But they showed it was either China or Japan, like they had um, something to identify people who are not as attentive as they should be. So they'll give them tips like, "Hey, you're drifting off course," or like they was using it for things to benefit the person to allow
Yeah.
them or assist them in growth. So I thought that was interesting too. So
The
hopefully,
that AI assistant can be strong. If you can build the right one, the AI assistant becomes your virtual assistant. And I've seen people use it to help manage their day, their workload, their business. Oh my gosh. Just imagine how you can use AI to help you strategize your 2026 business approach. You put everything in there that you're doing, what you think about it, what's not working well, what is working well, how you want it to grow. You dump all that in AI and have it to help you build out your business strategy. I've done that. And AI hurt my feelings because it kind of slapped me on the hand and said, okay, why are you doing that? You shouldn't be doing that. You should focus on this, this, and that. I'm like, really? Wow. So it helps you to think differently because it challenges what you know, and it helps you to grow in your thinking by giving you different ways to consider things I never thought about. I'm like, oh, I didn't, that's a good idea, because I never thought about it and it was sitting in my hands, but I didn't see it. AI had to bring it to my attention, and it's just amazing. So it's how we use it. Business owners, I highly suggest using it to help you really build your business strategy, your goals, look at your budget, your marketing. It's just so many ways to use it.
got you, got you. So overall, before I let you get up out of here, how can we just stay safe online? Like, what's the best practices to use to just stay safe online?
The biggest way to stay safe is building healthy habits. First is strong passwords. Don't be lazy with your passwords. Don't get to a place where I don't want to try to remember all of that. You need to use a password manager if you can't, but you need to be diligent about your passwords and not just the ones you think about all the time, but the ones you just disregard. Not your bank, not your email, but what about your Netflix and your YouTube and your PayPal and your car app for getting your car serviced, and maybe the warranty on your refrigerator. You had to log in and create that. All those different systems hold your personally identifiable information. What do your passwords look like? Are they all the same? Because if they are, and if I get it right one time, I can wreak havoc. So habits, strong passwords, change your passwords every 90 days. I highly suggest it. Turn on two-factor authentication. Don't say, well, I don't want to use my thumbprint or put in a code. Put in a code. You need the two-factor authentication to keep you safe. Um, you want to make sure that you are being cautious about your use of biometrics. We like to use the thumbprint or our eyes and things like that. But just be mindful. You want to have a backup. So, healthy habits. What is your backup email address? Is it your current email address? Whose email address is it? Make sure we build that in. And lastly, and I just had this conversation with my daughter today about the updates to our devices. I don't want to do that. It's going to take too long. It took hours. I have a lot of pictures. Okay. The updates, let me give you an example and I'm going to let you go. If you have version 1 on your phone, just say 1. And if the update is for version 5, it's okay, we got to update you, get you to version 5. And you say, I don't feel like waiting for that. Guess what? The hackers know how to hack version 1 already. They probably know how to hack version 2. So they have access to get into your system. You need to update. The updates is what keeps the providers and the technology developers ahead of the hackers. If you delay, then you're giving them access. Number one. Number two, if you haven't updated in a year and it's taking too long, it's because you haven't updated in a year. Turn off your device, let the updates run. The more frequent you do that, the shorter amount of time it takes for the update to complete. If you're trying to update from last August and you had 500 pictures and now you have 1,800 pictures, imagine how long it's going to take to update that and pull all that data in. So make sure you're updating all your devices, not just your phone, not just your computer, your television, your Wi-Fi, yeah, your headset. Yeah, they all have updates too. So yeah.
Nice. Yeah, any other last minute tips or nuggets that you can leave for the people?
Yeah, so three quick ones. One is going to be slow down. Speed is the enemy of security. If you go too fast, you're going to miss it. Slow down. Also question things online like logos and titles. They can be fake. Pay attention to those. Pay attention to email addresses that send you links and tell you click here to pay a bill. Pay attention to that. Teach kids that safety beats secrecy. Our kids are very secret. They don't like to tell things. Explain to them that if they're maintaining secrets, one, they know it's not healthy. Two, it puts them at risk. They're not safe. And the biggest thing is cybersecurity is not about being paranoid. It's about being prepared. All right.
Yeah, nah, I appreciate you. And this is the last thing I'm gonna get you up out of here.
Mhm.
And that's paying homage to your organization. I know you are a D9 member as well as you're part of another organization as well. So if you want to shout those two organizations out.
Absolutely. I'm a member of the Sigma Gamma Rho Sorority Incorporated, the Iota Sigma Alumni Chapter, as well as Iota Phi Lambda Sorority Incorporated, which is the first Greek lettered Black organization for women in business. So I'm a part of those two organizations. Yes, I'm very proud.
Yeah, yeah, no, awesome. Just wanted to make sure we pay, give those respects where they're due.
Absolutely.
Um, so how can people find you if they want to hire you or consult with you or, anything if they want to buy some of those crochet items that you have or donate to the nonprofit that you have? How can people do that? What's all your information?
Easiest way, the easiest way, of course, you can always send me a message on LinkedIn under Marcy Thornhill. You can email me at msmarcy0212 at gmail. And also, I do have my website, marcythornhill.org, where you can learn more about some of the things I do, and then I can direct you to some of the other brands as well.
Gotcha, gotcha. I appreciate you for coming, dropping all that knowledge. I'm sure it'll be helpful for a lot of people, including myself, because I'm a dinosaur with this technology.
We're
But
gonna work on that.
yeah, no, I definitely appreciate you. So keep up the good work, continue everything that you got going on, and I'll catch you on the next one.
Absolutely. Thank you.